Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called The Inside of a Human's Head, written by Obvious AD 4159. The music played in the background in a language I couldn't understand, a cheerful, upbeat tune. I looked at myself in the mirror, discovering the man with long, greasy hair, one movement of the hair trimmer at a time. Not bad. A bald head suits me, I mumbled, winking at the reflection. Hair filled the sink. The trimmer revealed pale skin underneath all the mess I just removed. I turned my head towards the video playing on the small floating screen to my left. Another man like myself, though much more dapper than I, talking about different ways to style one's beard. Should I shave it off too? The thought crossed my mind as I moved my head from left to right, checking out the beard to see what I've got to work with. A ducktail is a style popular for the lot of men with the thick beards who prefer to maintain a long beard. Works well with a narrow head shape, the guy in the video prattled on. Is my head narrow? I don't think so. Fuck it, I'll give the look a try. Can always shave it all off if it sucks, I decided, following the video tutorial closely. Working my greasy and wild beard into a more refined and elegant shape. A gentleman, if I ever saw one, I smiled at the reflection. I took a step back, looking over the entire body in the mirror as if checking a newly purchased item. Tall, definitely too skinny for my liking, but what else to expect from a junkie? There was work to be had, but I wasn't too dissatisfied. I lifted my arm, sniffing under it before frowning. I need a bath, buddy. I smell like ass. Before I could get into a shower, the doorbell rang. Pizza delivery, came a voice from the other side of the door. Oh boy! I rushed to the door, which wasn't far from the bathroom. My apartment was small, bed, kitchen, bathroom. It was all in the living room. No balcony to speak of. I kicked empty pizza boxes that littered the floor on my way to the door. Pizza was great. So many different flavors. I couldn't get enough of the stuff. Already eaten through 5 boxes since I got home last night. I could eat it forever and never get tired of it. The front door slid open with a beep, and my ecstatic expression at the thought of pizza was greeted by a barrel of a handgun pointed right at me. Pizza? I asked, looking at the mechanical individual standing at the door, but couldn't notice any pizza boxes on him. No pizza, bitch. You know what this is, he said, tilting the gun to the side a bit so I could get a better look. That's right, an atomizer. One shot from this bad boy and there won't even be a speck of you left to divide. I looked at him a while longer, this time actually paying attention to the details of his clothes and appearance. Ah, you're a Zalurian. He kept his gun pointed at my face as it scared me. A moment of silence passed before the weapon beeped, and its surprised look arose on his robotic face. You're human? Bullshit, the man mumbled, reinitiating the scan. Another minute went by, and the same result came up on the weapon's display again, causing him to look even more stumped than the last time. Before he could say anything else, the elevator dinged from down the hall, the pizza delivery drone exiting once the doors opened and heading our way. Yay! Pizza's here! I clapped my hands together and pushed past the man in front of me to take several pizza boxes from the drone. How do you have money for that? The Zaluran asked, lowering his weapon halfway to conceal it from the pizza drone. Beats me. I just yelled pizza at the floating screen over there, and pizza arrived shortly after. They never asked me to pay, I replied, walking back inside. Don't just stand there, come on in. Help yourself to some pizza while I finish cleaning this body up. The mechanical stranger walked inside my apartment after me. He pushed some boxes from the couch on the corner and sat down. So, where are you? I put the pizza boxes on the cluttered coffee table, immediately opening a box and pulling out a slice. Fuck, this is amazing. My attention was delivered to him again once the door automatically closed. With my free hand, I snapped the bald head. I'm in here. There was a long pause between the two of us, him sitting and looking at me while I gorged myself on slice after slice, letting out a few moans of delight every once in a while. After the first box was empty, I stopped and looked over at him. So, where the fuck am I? I asked. Earth, Mega City 9, the stranger replied. Were Earthlings always this full of battle? I continued with more questions. No, but they have been augmenting themselves with cybernetics for about a century now. That poses a problem for you, doesn't it? You can't assimilate inorganic matter, he replied with a slight smirk. Yeah, it sucks. Even this guy had a lot of shit in his head, but he was the most organic one I could find. I slapped my naked body on the chest. How are you still alive? The Zerillian asked. I'll do you one better. Why are you here? I grinned. You know that already. Your species is an Armageddon-level threat to every fucking planet in this galaxy. I'm here to exterminate you before you start to accumulate biomass, he replied, pulling out his gun but not pointing it at me this time. So why aren't you? I said, opening the second pizza box. Pepperoni is fucking amazing, man. Too bad you bots don't eat. First, you're human, meaning that you haven't assimilated that body. Second, you're alive, which shouldn't be possible, the Zeridian replied, looking at me with interest. Yeah, my head feels very clear, very quiet, almost empty. I feel alone, can't contact myself. Maybe it's this planet. No, he interrupted. You shouldn't be. Your kind doesn't have a sense of individuality. You are just biomass, psychically linked to the hive. We are all one entity. When a hive gets destroyed, all of its extensions die out immediately. So, you're saying the hive got destroyed? Well, that's a shame. How? I looked at him. His words did not strike any particular feeling in me. Not like that was ever possible. It got caught in the orb of the red giant, which was remotely forced to go supernova. You are far away from your mass, he said, beaming with pride. It must have been his kind that was responsible for it. I see. That explains a lot. I finished the second box, thinking back on the night I came into contact with my current body. It was a cold, rainy night. I felt weak and exhausted, as if I was dying. My abilities were gone. I could not think straight or even do much. All I could do was look for a place to die. I decided to crawl under a bridge, not feeling in the mood to die in the rain. That's where I came across him, a needle still stuck in his arm, passed out on the concrete. The Zellurian cleared his throat and grabbed my attention, snapping me from being lost in thought. You said you're inside the skull. How? Can you get out? I can totally get out. It just took refuge in here since it looked like a good place to die, and his brain was fried anyway. Watch this, sucker! I stood up from the couch and walked over to the kitchen, rummaging through the dishes before pulling out a decently sized kitchen knife. Blood dripped down my face as I jammed the blade into my skull, making a full circle around the head like an opening a can. Once that was done, I grabbed the top of the head and lifted it, revealing myself to the Zellurian. Ta-da! I laughed. And I can leave whenever I want, I said. Fleshy tentacles gripped the side of the skull. I strained myself a bit before hopping out, the human body flipping lifelessly on the floor. Blood was everywhere on the kitchen floor and on some of the cupboards and shelves. My triumph was short-lived, as suddenly I felt myself growing colder and colder. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. What? I can't breathe, came from the body on the floor, as a few tendrils connected me to it, allowing me to talk. Quick, put me back in. I looked around, but since the body was lying face down on the floor, I couldn't see much. A pair of metallic hands picked me up from the floor. I could feel them squeezing, the Zellurian planning to crush me into a pulp, no doubt, but that final squeeze never came. I felt myself carried through the air and stuffed back into the open skull on the floor. Quickly, I extended my tendrils, connecting them back into the spinal column of the body, feeling myself become more alive by the second. Ugh, that was fucking awful, I groaned, slowly picking myself off the floor and standing up, grabbing a stapler from the desk and stapling my skull closed. I see. You must have got in contact with that human right as your hive got destroyed. So instead of fully assimilating him, you replaced his brain and attached yourself to his vitals to survive, the machine man replied, cleaning the blood from his hands with a paper towel before sitting back down on the couch. So, I'm the brain now, I asked, sitting next to him and leaning back. Seems like it, though I assume you've probably replaced his entire nervous system by now, seeing as how you can talk or see without being connected to the body. That sucks ass, man, I sighed. I opened the third pizza box. Meat Lover's Delight, my newfound favorite. I'm just curious why you can't assimilate the entire body. Your kind replicates cells, then destroys the original. He rubbed his chin while thinking, talking more to himself than to me. I don't know. I can't remember a lot of things. I can't explain it. I remember more how to be human than how to be myself, I answered, waving a slice around, getting some grease on the machine's shirt. Watch where you wave that, motherfucker, the Zellurian growled, trying to wipe his shirt with a paper towel before the stain got permanent, but it was too late. So, are you going to atomize me now? No, this is an interesting development. You have a symbiotic relationship with that body. Of course, I'll keep an eye on you. If you go haywire, then I'll put you down. He sighed when his efforts to clean his shirt failed, causing him to frown and stand up. Something softly clattered on the coffee table, causing us both to look down. A staple. The Zellurian looked up at me. One by one, all the staples fell out as the wound healed fully. Seems you have more effect on the body than just being the brain. Maybe I should ice you before things get out of hand. Nah, don't be a bitch and backtrack on your previous statement, I argued back. Oh, you're afraid to die. I thought your kind had no concept of ever being alive in the first place. Nah, but I am curious about this too. Plus, I have 2 more boxes of pizza in front of me, and I like a dozen more flavors I haven't tried yet. Once I try them all, you can kill me. I don't give a fuck. I waved him off nonchalantly. Before he could finalize his decision, the doorbell rang. He looked over at me, the look on his face, asking if I was expecting another pizza order. I shook my head, standing up and walking over to the door. Who is it? Oh, thank goodness you're home, Diego. Open the door, came a female voice from the other side. I looked over at the machine man sitting on the couch, shrugged and opened the door, coming face to face with a short woman. She had short, dirty blonde hair and was dressed like those business girls I've seen on the floating square. The look on her face, however, was one of shock and embarrassment. Diego, where are your clothes? She asked, averting her eyes from my naked body and looking up at me. Her eyes widened even further when she noticed the dry blood that was covering my head and face. Oh, God, you're bleeding. What happened? Are you all right? Do I need to call the medical team? She blurted out, panic evident in her voice. He's fine. He just fell and hit his head. The Xylurian chimed in from the couch. Hey, dude, this chick seems to know me. Maybe she and I are supposed to breed or something. I turned around towards the machine man, a confused look on my face while pointing at the girl with my thumb. Before I could even fully turn around and face her again, her small hand flew up across the side of my face with incredible force, causing me to stumble back. You rude, inconsiderate bastard. Your father was worried sick, and so was I, thinking that you finally bit the dust under some bridge with a needle in your arm. Breed, as if, she yelled, her face turning redder by the minute. I was shocked, feeling the unfamiliar burning sensation on the side of my face. But since you're alive and well, fucking around with your dealer over there, I will simply deliver your father's message to you. You are cut off. He will not fund your deplorable lifestyle any longer. You have one last chance to get your sorry, drug-ridden ass to rehab, or he will remove you from his will as well. Have a good day. Before I could even say a word, she turned around and stormed off down the hallway towards the elevator. I turned around to the Xylurian. He's still rubbing my face. What did she do to me? And what's a cut-off mean? Oh, that's paid. She smacked the shit out of you, he laughed. As for cut-off, means no more money. This sensation was a novel one for sure. Seems I still wasn't done discovering new things that came with this body I had now. Fuck I need money for? This apartment, food, water, no more money, no more pizza, the stranger explained, much to my horror. I need to get more money right now. How do I do that? I ran over from the door and sat on the couch, ready to hear what I must do. A life without pizza wouldn't be worth living. Hold on. She seemed to be a secretary or assistant of someone. Whoever you are, or were, seems to have had a pretty rich daddy, the Xylurian said, pulling a scanner from his coat and pointing it at my face. After a few seconds, the device beeped, and the look on his face lit up with surprise. Well, I'll be. You're Diego Rivera, of the Rivera Robotics Incorporated, biggest military and police robotics manufacturer on the continent. That sounds good, right? I asked, not understanding a single thing he said. Very good and very bad. Means if you weren't a junkie, you'd be loaded as fuck. On the second hand, if your old man gets even a whiff of the fact that his son's body is being piloted by an extraterrestrial, he will pluck you out of that skull and either kill you or make you into some fucked up bioweapon. Sounds like a headache. I groaned and slumped in my seat, flipping over the second last box of pizza. It is, for both of us. I'm stationed here to keep an eye on humanity. So if this gets out of hand, I'll become my mess to fix. The stranger slumped in his seat as well. You could just kill me. Seems less work for both of us, I suggested. Well, knowing what I know now, I can't kill you. You're human. Even if your brain isn't, it's a fucking loophole, he groaned, rubbing his mechanical face with his hand. So, what do we do now? Seems like you just have to learn how to be Diego from now on. Start by showering and putting on some clothes. Meanwhile, I'll dig up everything on Diego and his family, so you can have some more work to do when I'm back. The Xylurian stood up and headed for the door. Hey, hold on, Holmes. Now we know I'm called Diego. What do we call you? I asked. Call me God, he replied while leaving. Good enough for me. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholt, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.